Hello there, I'm Muhammed and Hamdan, and this is Nightline, news making the headlines. ASEAN must maintain peace, stability, reinforce multilateral framework with China. And Zahid Hamidi's DNAA, I did not interfere, says PM. Good morning. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has emphasised the crucial need to maintain the present peace and stability in the ASEAN region while reinforcing the existing multilateral framework between ASEAN and China. Speaking at the 26th ASEAN-China Summit, he said the future collaboration will depend largely on trust and multilateral discussions regarding security in protecting the interests of both parties. The summit held at the Jakarta Convention Centre was attended by ASEAN leaders and China's Premier Li Qiang. Anwar also said he was pleased with China's commitment to enforcing a shared future. He said on Malaysia's part, it has conveyed to China about its desire to defend its interests and had also conveyed the measures under Malaysia Madani Economy Framework with China.
Premier Li Qiang, that we take a very strong independent stance as far as protecting our country and the interests of our region.
The Prime Minister also conveyed his confidence in the advancement of the ASEAN-China Free Trade Area Agreement FTA 3.0, an initiative set to significantly deepen regional economic integration. During a session with ASEAN leaders, US Vice President Kamala Harris stressed that the United States and ASEAN have a common interest in upholding international rules and norms.
This is exceptionally critical for countries committed to the principle of democratic accountability in this region.
Anwar noted that Malaysia welcomed the establishment of the ASEAN-US Centre in Washington, D.C., as announced by Harris during the session. Anwar said Malaysia and the United States should also boost people-to-people linkages through various initiatives, including volunteerism, to connect its citizens and promote greater understanding and acceptance between one another. Meanwhile, Anwar has stressed that he does not have a hand in the decision not to continue with the prosecution of Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's corruption case in court. The Prime Minister said the Attorney General had full powers to handle the case.
Dia Jaksa Agung ada kuasa dan wewenang sepenuhnya dan dia berikan alasan-alasan. Jadi saya serah kepada wewenang Jaksa Agung ya, kerana dia bicara tentang 200 halaman permohonan baru oleh Datuk Seri Zahid. Yang pertama, yang keduanya ada dokumen dari Jaksa Agung yang bocor, yang menunjukkan ada pendirian Jaksa Agung menentang pendakwaan pada peringkat awal. Tapi ini keputusan Jaksa Agung, jadi saya tidak campur.
Anwar said this after attending a program held in conjunction with the 43rd ASEAN Summit in Jakarta, Indonesia on Wednesday.
Dia Jaksa Agung ada kuasa.
In the meantime, Tan Sri Azam Baki stressed that he would leave it to the MACC investigating officers to further investigate the case of criminal breach of trust, corruption and money laundering related to Yayasan Akal Budi funds. The MACC Chief Commissioner said this after being asked how long the investigation by the anti-graft buster would take after Deputy Public Prosecutor Datuk Muhammad Dusuki Mokhtar submitted 11 grounds to halt the trial in the case against Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi on Monday.
The one I'm not sure lah. Jadi I leave it to my investigator to investigate the matter.
Azam said this to the media after launching the National Governance, Integrity and Anti-Corruption Research Conference in Sepang, Selangor on Wednesday. On Monday, Zahid was granted a discharge not amounting to an acquittal, DNAA, on all 47 of his criminal breach of trust, corruption and money laundering charges in relation to Yayasan Akal Budi funds. The decision was made by Judge Datuk Colin Lawrence Sequeira. On another matter, Azam said former One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB General Counsel Jasmine Lu Aiswan is currently being investigated by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) for her alleged involvement in corruption and money laundering. He said MACC investigating officers had been recording statements from Lu, who is currently under police custody since Monday.
Dia ni dalam siasatan kita juga. So we are questioning her on other parts involving corruption and also money laundering. As so far, the IOs need 3 days. If there is a necessity to have more, then we will ask police to assist us.
It was reported that Lu was among the proxies working with fugitive businessman Lau Teck Joe, or better known as Jolo, to misappropriate millions of ringgit from the Sovereign State Fund. Lu was listed as a wanted person and became a fugitive after the fall of the Barisan Nasional-led government during the 14th general election in 2018. Asked whether he was confident of detaining Lau now that Lu was in police custody, Azam answered in the negative.
Are you confident that you're closer to Jolo now that you have Jasmine Lu?
I'm not sure, because I think, you asked my opinion, not yet. Still far.
In the meantime, Azam said the police and the anti-graft busters would try their best to return 1MDB-linked assets. On Monday, Deputy Inspector General of Police, Datuk Seri Ayub Khan Maidin Piche, said that police had seized 93.2 million ringgit worth of misappropriated 1MDB funds from Lu. A top UMNO leader has issued a reminder against resorting to divisive tactics that exploit race or religion for political gain. UMNO Vice President Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani stressed that instead, they should focus on issues that matter to the people, as stability through unity is the key to the country's economic progress.
Jadi alhamdulillah di Johor ini kita tengok dari segi pelaburan yang sampai bagus. Kita nak tunjuk kepada orang progresif dan masyarakat Melayu kena faham ini. Ya, sebab Islam itu ialah dia terus membangun. Kita jangan pakai slogan membangun tapi negeri ke belakang. So ini konsep yang kita nak bawa, kita tak usahlah jual agama kerana kita nak kuasa.
He was met during a program with the residents of Kampung Orang Asli Bakar Batu in Perling, Johor, where he accompanied the Pakatan Harapan candidate for the Pulai parliamentary seat, Suhaizan Kayat. Johari also highlighted that economic development is a central focus of the unity government. He expressed concern over high unemployment in the country and stressed that being overly engrossed in politics will not solve the issue. The Titi Wangsa MP also acknowledged the dynamic nature of politics in Malaysia and urged people to accept the evolving situation to serve the community and develop the country. Now, the Defence Forces have a new chief. General Tan Sri Muhammad Abdul Rahman was appointed as the new Chief of Defence Forces on Wednesday, taking over from General Tan Sri Effendi Buang, who is retiring. FMT's Natasha Bust has the report.
General Muhammad has reached the peak of his distinguished career in protecting the nation with his appointment as the new Chief of Defence Forces. Throughout his service in the military, Muhammad has held several important positions, including as the commanding officer of the 23rd Battalion of the Royal Malay Regiment. Born in Machang, Kelantan, he has dedicated over 35 years to military service, starting as a second lieutenant with the Royal Malay Regiment in July 1987. Muhammad, 59, will take over from Effendi Buang, who stepped down on Wednesday prior to retirement in February, ending a 43-year career in the armed forces.
Mengambil kesempatan ini, saya ingin merakamkan setinggi-tinggi ucapan tahniah pada Jeneral Tan Sri Datuk Sri Muhammad bin Abdul Rahman atas pelantikan beliau sebagai Panglima Angkatan Tentera Malaysia yang baru. Tahniah Tan Sri. Saya yakin bahawa beliau berupaya memikul amanah serta tanggungjawab bagi merealisasikan hasrat untuk menjadikan ATM sebagai sebuah angkatan yang sangat utuh serta sentiasa berada di tahap kesiagaan yang tertinggi.
The conferment of rank and handover of duties was also attended by Deputy Defence Minister Adli Zahari, Royal Malaysian Air Force Chief General Tan Sri Muhammad Asghar Khan Goriman Khan, and Royal Malaysian Navy Chief Admiral Dato' Abdul Rahman Ayub. At the ceremony, Muhammad also handed the reins of Army Chief to Datuk Muhammad Hafizuddin Jantan, who was also promoted to the rank of General. A graduate from the Royal Military College's Putra branch in 1980, Muhammad pursued his bachelor's degree in computer science at the University of North Carolina in Charlotte, U.S. He was first commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Royal Malay Regiment on July 1st, 1987, before entrusted with heavier responsibilities. Natasha Bust, FMT for Nightline.
Moving on, the price of imported white rice has shot up, but Malaysians can rest easy knowing that the cost of meals at their favourite mamak joints will remain, for the time being at least. FMT's Jason Desmond bites into the story.
Nasi kandar lovers who frequent Indian Muslim restaurants up and down the country can breathe a sigh of relief. Despite a hefty increase in the price of imported rice, mamak restaurant operators have vowed not to increase food prices just yet.
Jawahar Ali Taib Khan, the president of PRESMA, the Malaysian Indian Muslim Restaurant Owners Association, said that any price hike will remain a last option. He said that for now, the association's 12,000 members have agreed to absorb the increase in the price of imported white rice.
Bergantunglah kalau dulu apa untuk kata 10% kan jatuh 8% itu je tak rasanya.
On Friday, Padi Beras Nasional Berhad or Bernas announced that the price of imported rice will jump by 850 ringgit per ton to 3,200 ringgit. It said the price hike was driven by external factors including climate change, weakening foreign exchange rates, high operational costs, and regional conflicts. This has been further complicated by India's move to ban the export of white rice. Despite an 80% reliance on imported rice, Jawahar said the association's members cannot bring themselves to raise prices just yet.
Mamak sebenarnya moto untuk kereta B40, M40 dan macam setengah tempat tu dah jadi macam second home lah. Tergamak ke kita nak naik harga, saya rasa it's not fair.
Jawahar hopes the authorities will monitor the situation and prevent unscrupulous businesses from taking advantage of consumers.
Yang paling penting macam pihak KPDN punya Kementerian Negeri ada buat pemantauan, pematuhan. Kalau ada suara aduan daripada pelanggan, mereka bertindak dengan cukup pantas. Pemantauan dan pengawasan oleh KPDN sekarang ini cukup berhemah. Dia ni bukan membuta tuli nak hukum kita orang.
Jason Desmond, FMT for Nightline.
Death toll from fierce storms rises. News from the foreign front when we return. Welcome back to the foreign front. Japanese prosecutors formally indicted a 24-year-old man on Wednesday on attempted murder and other charges in the explosives attack on Prime Minister Fumio Kishida in April. According to the Wakayama District Court, prosecutors formally indicted Ryuji Kimura on an attempted murder charge and 4 others, including violation of the gun and swords control law and the explosives control law. Previously, suspected gunpowder as well as pipe-like objects and tools were found at Kimura's home during a police search after the attack. It was reported that police and prosecutors determined that the bomb used in the attack was lethal. Kimura is suspected of tossing the explosive device towards Kishida during a campaign event in western Japan, but the Prime Minister was unharmed while Kimura was arrested at the scene. The death toll from severe rainstorms that lashed parts of Greece, Turkey and Bulgaria increased into 9 Wednesday after rescue teams located the body of a missing vacationer. He was swept away by flood waters that raged through a campsite in northwest Turkey. Authorities in Istanbul said at least 3 people died and 3 were missing in Kırklareli province after houses were flooded late on Tuesday. Another 2 people were killed while 31 others injured in 2 other districts. In Greece, a record rainfall caused at least 2 deaths on Wednesday. 3 people were reported missing after torrential rain flooded homes and destroyed infrastructure. Meanwhile, a storm caused floods on Bulgaria's southern Black Sea coast, leaving 2 people dead and 3 others missing. Authorities had also declared a state of emergency in the town and urged people to move upstairs as water swamped the ground floors of some hotels. Relentless rain from the remnants of Typhoon Haikui has swamped southeastern China, forcing cities to Fujian province to close schools, halt public transport and evacuate tens of thousands of people. According to the city's flood control and drought relief headquarters, as of 7 a.m. on Wednesday, torrential rains had inflicted damage to 147 townships in the city, leading to a direct economic loss of over $76.7 million. More than 36,000 people were evacuated from their homes, and power and communications links were damaged. Weather officials said the rain broke 12-year-old records in the provincial capital of Fuzhou, which prompted warnings that 49 reservoirs had exceeded flood limits. The rains are expected to last until Friday in central and southern parts of the province. Moving on, at least 21 people were killed and thousands of others displaced on Tuesday in Brazil's Rio Grande do Sul state due to torrential rain and winds caused by an extratropical cyclone. In addition to the 21 lives lost in Rio Grande do Sul, 1 death was confirmed in the neighboring state of Santa Catarina, with authorities finding more bodies as floodwaters begin to recede. According to local media, hundreds of people had to be rescued from their rooftops in the town of Muhammed, as 85% of the town was flooded. Tuesday's cyclone is the latest in a string of extreme weather events to heap misery on Brazil, underscoring the risks of storms driven to greater frequency and intensity by climate change. Harimau Malaya fight back to earn draw with Syria. Sports after this breather.
ada drama baru lah kat Facebook. Nak download lah tu. Ingat jangan download ataupun share laman web Cetak Rompak. Jangan.
Sports football, the international friendly. Malaysia came back from 2-goal down to hold Syria to a 2-2 draw in a Tier 1 friendly match in Chengdu, China on Wednesday. The Harimau Malaya looked set for a humiliating defeat when they found themselves 2 goals behind after the first 40 minutes. Mardik Mardakian gave Syria the lead after 11 minutes before Yassin Al-Samia, who was unmarked, headed in a corner kick 5 minutes before the break for Syria's second. Kim Pangon made several changes at the start of the second half and the move proved to be a fruitful one. Substitute Akhia Rashid halved the deficit in the 51st minute, with another substitute Darren Lock scoring Malaysia's second in the 85th minute, tapping in the rebound from Safawi Rashid's initial block effort. The 2-2 scoreline remained till the final whistle, despite both teams pushing hard for a winner. The Harimau Malaya will next play China in another Tier 1 international friendly match.
Ayo semarakkan sokongan anda untuk Harimau Malaya. Siri Persahabatan Antarabangsa. Secara langsung hanya di TV9 dan Astro saluran 149.
Turning to tennis now, the 2023 US Open second seed Novak Djokovic remained on course for the first Flushing Meadows title since 2018 when he reached the semi-finals with a straight sets win over 9th seed Taylor Fritz. Djokovic shrugged off stifling heat and Fritz 6-1, 6-4, 6-4 to stay on course for a fourth Flushing Meadows crown that would see him match Margaret Court's record haul of 24 Grand Slams. The 23 major champion will meet another American, Ben Shelton, in the semi-finals. Earlier, Shelton pulled off an upset against fellow American and world number 10 Frances Tiafoe in 4 sets in the quarter-finals. The 20-year-old reached his first Grand Slam semi-final by edging Tiafoe 6-2, 3-6, 7-6, 6-2 in a back-and-forth contest filled with huge hitting by both. Shelton is the youngest American male to reach the semi-final since 20-year-old Michael Chang made it in 1992. More to come. Over 32 million ringgit worth of ecstasy seized. Don't go away. Thanks for staying with us. A recent rise in the number of whooping cough cases has prompted fears of an outbreak of the disease. But what exactly is the whooping cough and how prevalent is it? FMT's Danish Raja Reza takes a closer look at the disease.
Pertussis, more commonly known as whooping cough, made headlines recently after the Pahang Health Department confirmed 3 cases involving a mother and her 2 children in Rampin just 2 weeks ago. First discovered in the 16th century, the whooping cough is caused by a type of bacteria known as Bordetella pertussis. According to Dr. Ik Kak Peng, a consultant pediatric respiratory physician at the Specialist Center, early symptoms include a runny nose, mild fever, and a mild cough. Ik said patients may at a later stage develop violent coughing fits that may last up to 10 weeks. In some cases, they may also experience respiratory distress and other complications such as pneumonia and an inflammation of the brain, and can also lead to death.
When you get treated early, it also reduces the chance of developing complications, serious complications.
Ik said vaccinations are important and boosters are required to maintain their efficacy.
It's not really lifelong vaccines. Some study shows that it wanes even after 5 years. So the protection rate is not the same when it's actually newly given.
Health Director General Dr. Radzi Abu Hassan says that as of August 19th this year, 329 cases have been reported, including 23 deaths. Infants under 12 months old accounted for more than 57% of cases, while almost 29% of the cases involved those aged between 1 and 10. So is there cause for panic?
We should have very high population immunity for whooping cough because most of us would have gone through the vaccination program. The risk of widespread infection of whooping cough is extremely unlikely.
That is a relief. Danish Raja Reza, FMT for Nightline.
This week on Money Matters, smear campaigns against palm oil, how to put a stop to it once and for all, expectation of a rise in crude palm oil production by year-end, and addressing labour shortage in the palm oil sector. Join us with Malaysian Palm Oil Council Chairman Datuk Carl Back-Nielsen this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and live HD stream on Tonton. The Customs Department has crippled the activities of an international drug distribution syndicate with the seizure of more than 436 kilograms of ecstasy. The drugs, estimated at 32 million ringgit, were seized at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport cargo complex on August 29th. Customs Director General Datuk Zazuli Johan said this was the biggest seizure of illicit drugs at the international airport this year. During the incident, officers on duty were conducting an inspection on 36 boxes at the cargo complex following a tip-off. The contents of the boxes had been declared as tools. Upon checking, they found colourful pills believed to be ecstasy in 12 boxes. The remaining 24 boxes contained only bricks. A preliminary investigation revealed that the drugs had arrived from the Netherlands. Authorities have not made any arrests as the information in the import documentation was found to have been fabricated. The case is being investigated under Section 39B, subsection 1A of the Dangerous Drugs Act. And lastly, in Johor, 2 students died after the car they were travelling in collided with a trailer at Jalan Muar Tangkak near Sagil at about 7:05 a.m. on Wednesday. District Police Chief Superintendent Roslan Muhammad Talib said the victims were identified as Muhammad Hazim Abdul Halim and Muhammad Fikri Amaluddin, aged 25 and 24 respectively. Initial investigation found that they were travelling from Tangkak before the car they were in skidded and entered the opposite lane and collided with the trailer. Both the car's driver and passenger were pronounced dead at the scene due to severe injuries to the face and head, while the trailer driver escaped unhurt. The bodies of the victims were sent to the Tangkak Hospital Forensic Unit for post-mortem. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act 1987. This edition of Nightline, let's take a look as an ice sculptor artist creates ice sculptures of all shapes and sizes in his ice lounge. Living between Dubai's scorching summer heat and his studio's sub-zero temperatures, the self-taught Sri Lankan sculptor displays his creations for both tourists and locals to enjoy with a hot drink and snack. With that, I'm Muhammed and Hamdan. Thanks for watching and stay safe.